Make sure this is working. Okay, we're recording. I had to do an update on this one because this is awesome. So Alex Jones is back on YouTube. So him and Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is supposed to be on. I can't find a page for him yet. I don't know what's going on with that. Alex Jones is on at Alex Jones TV. So how this came about was Google, which is owned by ABC, ended up getting pulled in front of a congressional hearing where they ended up admitting what we all knew during the corrupt Biden regime, that they were going after conservatives. They were censoring information. They were censoring conservatives. Anything that didn't fit the narrative that the Biden regime wanted, they were putting pressure on all of these organizations. Mark Zuckerberg for Facebook has already said this. Elon Musk found all of this out when he bought Twitter. And now we're from a congressional hearing. We're hearing this from Google as well. So Google admitted President Joe Biden's administration pressed the tech giant and YouTube to censor content the administration felt was COVID-19 misinformation, and there was more than that as well. Now YouTube and Google are calling for conservative voices to rejoin if they were booted for violating now scrapped rules on what users could say about COVID-19 and election integrity. So you remember, you couldn't say the COVID shots were dangerous, even though they were dangerous. You couldn't say the COVID shots didn't work, even though it was factual that they didn't work. And you couldn't say that they were completely playing with the numbers of COVID-19 and lying about mask usage and 6 feet and all this other crap. You couldn't say that. I mean, you were immediately shut down. If you didn't get a marker on your page saying there's COVID information on this, or speak to your doctor or something, you were outright taken off completely. Now you can actually talk about that because you can't hide the information anymore. People are dying from the COVID shot. They didn't work. But people are still getting the booster like idiots. It doesn't work. And people are wearing the masks like they do anything. They don't work. But anyway, I digress. And the election integrity. We knew the Democrats cheated. That's how Dementia Joe got into office. I've said this already. Do you think Dementia Joe got more votes than the first black president in America's history? Do you honestly believe that really happened? That befuddled moron. So I'll continue here. Company attorney Daniel Donovan shared the jarring admission on Tuesday while speaking to the House Judiciary Committee and later in a letter to Representative Jim Jordan. President Biden and his administration, Donovan wrote, created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of platforms based on their concerns regarding misinformation. He also said, senior Biden administration officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet and pressed the company regarding certain user-generated content related to COVID-19 pandemic that did not violate its policies. While the company continued to develop and enforce its policies independently, Biden administration officials continued to press the company to remove non-violative users generated as well. Google was doing its own thing to suppress what everyone was trying to say. All of us conspiracy theorists were completely correct. Not a PhD among us. Somehow we figured it out. We just did our homework. And we figured out what every doctor and every government official was lying to you about, that it wasn't safe, don't get it. And now they're having to admit to that and cope to all of that. Alphabet, the parent company of Google and YouTube, added it was unacceptable and wrong for the Biden administration to attempt to dictate how it policed content. Donovan's letter said, well, it was wrong for YouTube to do what it did too, not just the government. They're trying to put it on, well, the government made us do all of it. Google is not the first Silicon Valley stalwart to admit Biden administration officials pressed it to censor more content. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, Facebook, and Instagram's parent company, said the Biden administration basically pushed his company to censor more COVID-19 posts. And they did way more than that, and they were even worse on Twitter at the time. They were shutting down people's accounts. I'm generally pretty pro rolling out vaccines. I think on balance, the vaccines are more positive than negative, Zuckerpuke told Joe Rogan earlier this year, the fucking android playing human. But I think that while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who was basically arguing against it. And they pushed us super hard to take down things that honestly were true, right? He continued. I mean, they basically pushed us and said anything that says the vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. We're clearly not going to do that. And then they were pushed to do it. Like, Really, it's not your company. You can't just say fuck off. But here's the biggest point. So they've had to admit what we all already knew. Anyone that was a content creator, anyone that made videos of a particular kind, you could be a left-wing nut job and your videos were perfectly fine. If you were conservative and a content creator, your videos were throttled, suppressed, or completely taken down, and you were giving warnings and strikes or demonetized. You didn't have the opportunity to make any money. Now they've reversed that, and they're offering everybody that was kicked out back. So Alex Jones has made a new page. Here he is. I'm on it. Alex Jones TV. You can find him on YouTube. And he's doing his thing, being a crazy. I love Alex Jones. He's a crazy guy. But some of the commercials that he has for his product are fucking off the hook. And I wanna play one here.
And I'll go out as soon as I can.
He's talking about being an attack dog. Give me a bowl of food and water, and I'll go attack the enemy. But here's some of his commercials. They're great. He's made like AI commercials. This is what he was talking about, being a lion. Look at this. And after they ate, they cleaned the dishes and plates. Alex jumped on his back and they flew to the store to get some supplements that you can't ignore. It said Alex Jones was right on the wall next to the entrance. I think this was called Fentanyl the Dragon. I don't know, but... Here's another one. Oh. And there's another one after this. Oh, here we go. Dragon's back. So now Alex is a mage, making a magic helpful potion. Oh. It isn't me, it's the commercial. It's the sound is going a little wonky. Here's Alex Jones the Mage at alexjonesstore.com to get all of his supplements. This is how he makes some of his money, is selling all these supplements. So you get all these commercials when you're listening to him. I don't know if there's another one. Okay, there wasn't. But I just wanted to show some of those commercials too. They're crazy. But they were just super hilarious, and I wanted to share it with everyone. But yeah, you could find Alex Jones on InfoWars, on Rumble, I believe, and now here on YouTube. And you remember when he got taken down for like multiple things. I don't even think it was the Sandy Hook thing. It might have been something even before that or after that. But he had gotten pulled off, and it was so bad with YouTube that not only was he not allowed back on, but if you were a content creator, excuse me, if you were a content creator and you had him on your show, your episode was pulled down and you were potentially flagged for even having him as a guest, either to host your show, because Steven Crowder tried to do that, to host his show, or to just have him as a guest to sit down and chat with him. You weren't allowed to do it. YouTube would damn near pull your show and demonetize you. Now they've gone back. They've admitted fault and admitted that they were pressured into doing all this by the Democrats, by the Biden regime, which you'll remember are the ones that were whining and moaning about Jimmy Kimmel being pulled off the air. They're the ones that pulled all the censorship. Remember when you couldn't talk about Hunter Biden's laptop? You got flagged or your account got pulled down? Remember if you went on to Twitter and you tried to say a man can't be a woman? you had to delete that, and then you had to face a 2-day penalty or something in order to get back into your account again. That was all the Democrats. That was all push from the Democrats and the corrupt Biden regime to do it. And yet they will turn around and cry about Jimmy Kimmel being canceled and do mass violence in order to get him back on the air again, and claim that conservatives are the ones that are clamping down on free speech. When they did it for 4 years plus, if you said a certain thing, you were gone. Now Google's had to come out and admit that, yes, they were doing that. They're inviting conservatives to come back onto the platform. So, like Tim Pool has created a new page, and he's trying to see if that's unthrottled. The Quartering has done the same thing. I'm ever working on all of this, so I want to see if my page ends up getting more views as well, because I've got more followers on Rumble than I do on YouTube, and that's because YouTube, up to this point, throttled conservative voices. So let's see what happens now. But there it is. Alex Jones is back. He currently has 29.5 thousand. I haven't seen Nick Fuentes yet. I can't find his page, and we'll see how it all plays out. I just wanted to give you guys that update and let you see those commercials. They were hilarious. All right, talk to you all soon.